Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's so good to see everybody again. It's been a busy month for me. I've been settling into the new place. Thank you for being patient. This reading is finally here, and I'm doing it in reverse order to reward all of you for waiting. So this can be used for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus. Let's get straight into your channeled messages. I'm going to start doing live channeling because it feels right, and it allows me to get these videos out a little bit faster, so I hope you enjoy it. There are a couple things that I saw as I was basically meditating right before this reading. The first of the two is a bee, and the second one is a spotlight. So we'll talk about the bee first. This to me is super auspicious because a bee represents the ability to bring about abundance. It's a pollinator, so it can disseminate or spread information or news. Well, it can't, but it represents your ability to. It, of course, is spreading pollen around, which is then allowing for flowers to seed. And so that's why it's basically this abundance that it represents. But because it can do a lot of things at once, this is validation for you that you can multitask. You can actually juggle more than one thing if you want to. And I think the other thing is teamwork makes that dream work. And bees are highly structured, highly organized. In fact, if I had to pick a card that would represent the way that they're organized, it would be like the Hierophant, something very rigid, hierarchical. Try to say that 5 times fast. But yeah, very rigid and organized. And again, even if that's not your comfort zone, the more organized and the clearer you can get on what you're trying to do, the better. And the teamwork can help with that. You can delegate some responsibilities to a certain person. You can reach out for expertise if you lack it, with someone else. And I think being able to put each sort of thing that you're trying to work on with the right person can help you do more at once. Good leaders do not necessarily have to micromanage, nor should they be doing everything that everyone else is doing. So taking a step back, really being a leader, getting that bird's eye view, and you're going to be a busy bee this month, suffice it to say. The spotlight is also very auspicious. To me, I would connect this to star energy, and there are 2 ways we could interpret this. Either you're stepping into a moment where attention is coming towards you, and you're in the spotlight, in which case, just embrace it. Believe in yourself. You've earned it. You may also be like the hermit, shining the spotlight on something that needs attention. And you don't need to fix this alone. The bee is a very communal, community-based card. So if there's something difficult that you're facing, rally up the troops and the forces around you in the form of friends and family and colleagues so that you are not kind of carrying this weight alone. All right? But all of these are really positive energies to come through, and I can't wait to give the cards a shuffle and see how this is going to pan out in the next month. So let's do that. All right, everyone, close your eyes if you will, let go of any pre-existing thoughts, and just focus now on receiving guidance in the highest forms. We're going to call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, and really ask for whatever needs to come through. All right, let's begin. Let's begin. We're going to start off with your Catalyst card. You received this beautiful illustration of Vesta, which represents home. So for some of you, there could be a change in your living environment, something for the better because this card is in the upright position. You may also be simply looking at renovating, purchasing, or looking at your general sort of space and thinking, is this what I want? Now, I think there's a much deeper message here with home, because home is not just the structure that we see at the back of this like 10 of Pentacles. It's the people, it's the animals, it's the children, it's the life you build. And as someone who has recently moved and had to give up a lot of stuff, one of the karmic and life lessons that I realized is the stuff inside a home doesn't make a home a home. And where you're located doesn't make it your home. It's a sense of safety and stability and community and family. And I think that that's what Vesta's bringing forth here, is the bigger version of home. And maybe you're finally getting comfortable in your own skin. You're feeling at home where you are in your life, and you don't have to change who you are. So sort of larger themes of like a homecoming, if you will. And to me, that's quite a beautiful message. So let's go ahead now and look at all the cards and see what other messages are coming through. I like to always take a quick scan of basically past and future cards and just see what the arc is. So we see the Harvest here, the Judgment card, and that is, for many of you, kind of like bouncing back after a challenge. And then we see happiness, and then we see a new start here. So everything in between is filling in the pictures, but I like what I see so far. Let's get started with the Hanged Man at the center of this spread. And I'm not so worried about this Hanged Man because we have two aces right around it. And it's saying slow down in this moment in time and really make sure that you're drinking in, looking at, and embracing everything that the universe wants to serve up right now. And that patience and that consideration will save you time, will help you avoid from making a misstep, and it's going to give you clarity. So you're exactly where you need to be right now, even if you set an arbitrary deadline, even if someone else around you wants something done. I think it's important to just be present right now and not rush. And so that's the first message coming through. The next message that I see is it's basically about a perception shift. So right on top of this Hanged Man, we have the Two of Wands. And this is about being able to see the future or see an opportunity or plan or envision something. If you slow down in this moment and start to do the work, the visionary work, what we see here is a seed being planted and a very happy outcome here. By the way, there could be someone trying to get your attention, someone that's very interested in you, because this is an offer in love when we see the Ace of Pentacles partnered up with one of the Cups cards, particularly like Two of Cups or Queen of Cups or the Lovers. So there could be this really cool partnership. I saw the bees and thought about that, so that makes sense. Let's look at the traditional illustration for Two of Wands, because it kind of gives you the homework or the sort of directional shift that you might need to do right now, which is the universe is saying, what are you trying to do? What's your plan? What's your goal? And if you are replying to me, Nicholas, I don't know. Well, this is a perfect time to take a couple moments and write it out or speak it out or think about it. Dream. Give yourself a chance to dream and decide, what do I want? What would be the best case scenario? So I would love for you to have a little bit of time to dream, because we see dream fulfillment or wish fulfillment in this spread if you take the time to plan. And it's also, as we look at the karmic card in the deep past, a chance for you to reap the rewards of the very hard work that many of you have been doing over the course of this last year. So this is Judgment, but I love the way they reinterpreted Judgment. So instead of an angel with a bunch of souls rising up, here we just see the end of a season where all of the fruits and vegetables are ready there. And it's the same sort of general theme here, which is from one season to another, from one chapter to another. And that is why this sort of planning card here in the Two of Wands is ever so important. It's really key that you take the time to plan, and also take a moment to take stock of all of the work that you've done to bring in this bounty. This is not accidental that you've gotten this opportunity to grow or to experience something. And that, my friends, is why the Ace of Pentacles is here. So this, we're looking at the month ahead. It's showing that by the beginning of the month, there should be something sitting on your plate. Not just that, but in the crowning position, we have an Ace of Wands. It's reversed. This is a lot more tangible, easy, maybe even feels better. This one seems a little forced. Whenever the Ace of Wands is reversed, there usually is a lack of passion, or it goes counter to your idea, or there needs to be a slight revision done. So when I'm looking at this Ace of Wands, this Ace of Pentacles here, this one's just, it's there, it's easy, it's ripe for the picking. It feels like it's natural. So don't force it. If one thing comes a little bit easier, feels a little bit better, go with it, especially if you're juggling or vacillating between two options. There could also be someone around you that's trying to influence your decision making. You've got to go back to what you want. So that's why I think it's important to take a moment, meditate, and really decide what it is you stand for, what it is you want. That's going to help you as you move forward. Now, this also can represent a lack of energy, a lack of vitality. There's any number of things that could be leading into this sort of lack of energy. For some of you, this could simply be, overwork. Could be just a lack of passion, like this isn't what you want to do. And whatever is causing it, whatever the root source of this sort of lack of energy, you really want to address that sooner rather than later. This is also just saying don't get into your headspace too much. I feel like you're sitting on a really great concept. So this is maybe for the more business or school-minded people out there. If there's an idea that you've been kind of like toying around with, you could just be going down a rabbit hole of too many revisions, too much worry about what people are thinking. And I feel like it's like put the pen to the paper and just start to write it or sketch it or articulate it. There's plenty of room to be perfect later. And perfection's overrated anyway. It's good to make a mistake every now and then because you learn from it. And I think creativity is an iterative process. Very rarely is the first draft the only draft. It's few and far between. So don't put that much pressure on yourself. You're also being guided. You don't see it in this card, but I'll pull the traditional one in a second. But the Judgment card basically is one of the angelic ones in tarot. And so in this moment, all you really have to do is say, show me without a shadow of a doubt what it is that I need to be focusing on, and Spirit will find a way to make it clear, whether it's through a vision or a dream, or you hear or see something in everyday life. You'll get that clear signal. And sometimes you just have to listen to your heart and say, again, one of the two choices in front of you is a little bit easier. So I do feel like some of you are on this sort of fork in the road. Give yourself a chance to tune in. Just like we're hearing in the background, sometimes you'll get this really clear signal that it's time to stop or it's time to proceed. Okay, let's see. I love what's coming through here in the near future. So there could be love. If you're looking for love this month, Aquarius, it could be coming through. Queen of Cups could be a lovely water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces that's coming into your life. But this is also just you. This is your kindness, your empathy, your creativity. And it's also one of the best and most receptive cards. You can almost view chalices, cups, whatever you want to call them, as big satellite dishes. And by the time we get to the King and the Queen, and I see those two as equals, even though there's a ranking difference. But once we're at that point, you're basically saying, bring it on, bring it in. You're like a big satellite dish, hugging the universe, saying, I'm ready. Now is the moment. And I really feel like you could use that as your mantra. I'm ready to receive love, abundance, and opportunity right here, right now. Bring it on, universe. It's not a demanding sort of mantra. It's just saying the time is now, right? So if you're ready, I feel like you could receive something wonderful right now. And it could be in the form of partnership. Again, it's connecting with the bee energy that I saw in channeled messages. So let's keep going through the spread and see what else is coming forth. You are in a really great energy right here. This is representing you, yourself, and it's basically a wish fulfillment card. Nine of Cups, generally speaking, is happy, celebratory. Sometimes there's even more than you expected. We're going to zoom in a little bit on this because it has one of my favorite symbols there. So you can see the little ladybug there. Love it. And she's really more of a high priestess than the traditional Nine of Cups. So all of this and then some. That's another thing that I put into manifestation mantras. Prepare yourself to get like an upgrade. So more than you anticipated, more than you had dreamed possible, and say yes to it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't get in the way of that happening. So also there's like this reflection on the crystal ball that is her face. So there are a couple, we have the Two of Wands, we have the Two Faces, we have the little ladybug coming through. And I really feel like good luck is coming in twos this month for you, even though this is the Nine of Cups here. The only thing you want to be mindful of in a general health and well-being perspective is not to go to extremes, because this is a card that sometimes overdoes it, particularly when it comes to eating or partying or celebrating. So everything in moderation. The environment shows, this is really cool, by the way. So we have the Page of Wands here. If you don't get in your own way with a thought or idea and you kind of put it out into the world, we get an answer. So there is kind of call and answer coming through here with this Page of Wands. I like that. Pages also need to be perceptive and pick up on nonverbal cues, particularly Page of Wands. So in this moment in time, when communicating with somebody, I really want you to pay attention to what's going on in their expression, the tone of their voice, and then how you feel. So whereas cups are kind of like satellite dishes, for me, whenever we're getting into wands, it's connecting with thoughts, and it's almost like a tuning fork. That's what I'm getting with this particular Page of Wands. So hitting the right tone in communication is so key. And that's what pages do. They communicate and they listen. So listen to the tone, look at the nonverbal language, and allow that to help you decide if you need to tweak the message a little bit. But there could be good news coming in. There could be another friend or colleague that's kind of coming into the picture right now. And I like that they have this sort of magic wand here. It feels like, as we're looking at partnership opportunities, this could be like the missing link. So keep looking around if you need some help, if you're trying to hire someone, if you're looking for a new assistant or some friendship or some counseling. It's there. It's in the environment. We have the Queen of Wands in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities, one of the ultimate boss cards, second or third only to the Emperor and the Empress. She is really, really good at not only making things happen, but also kind of like seeing things that other people can't. Highly intuitive, highly insightful. And this is a time where your insight, your perception is going to help solve problems that others can't. So in business, it's great. This could be also another love opportunity. I mentioned two. So we have Queen of Cups, we have Queen of Wands energy. And so then the choice becomes, what do I want? What do I feel like? What's the best connection for me? And, when we get into love, we'll look at that a little bit more. But based on the crowning card and the one in the recent past, it feels like there's a little bit more of a connection to the person that you met before, or the sort of oldest of the two, the one you've known the longest. And there's another one that you like, but you're not feeling the passion. So if you have two love interests, two partnerships, maybe in business, the same thing is going on here. One, you just really hit it off with. The other one, there's something that you can't quite put your finger on, but there's something that's not quite right. Listen to that intuition, okay? You have choices, so you need to go with the one that feels right. You should be taking more of an active role when it comes to, any sort of leadership opportunity in your life, but definitely business affairs. Your money, your general sort of like trajectory, be the boss this month. That's what that is saying. As we take a look at the outcome, we have the Green Man. And what I love about this is it's really connecting to the harvest that you have in the deep past. So this time around, I feel like for some of you, you've taken 1, 2, or 3 attempts to get something right. Look at all the growth here. It's not going to take as long this time around. The older we get, the wiser we get, the more we apply all of our skills, talents, and lessons, the easier it is sometimes just to deal with the challenge in front of you. As someone who's moved a lot, I can do so a lot more effortlessly now. And I'm pretty good at figuring out how to make it all happen. So it was a little more overwhelming the first time I did it, and it got better as I continued through it. Same thing for those of us that have started businesses or, learned a trade or a skill. The first day, the first time, the first draft, always the toughest. Subsequent tries, subsequent drafts usually much easier. So I feel like this time around, yes, it's a new start for some of you, but it could be easier. And the encouragement from Spirit is to put that out there and say, what if this time I land on my feet? What if this time it's not as much work? What if it's just a fresh, brand new slate? And if you can kind of approach it in that manner, I feel like you might be able to attract it and manifest it as well. Let's expand this forecast. We're going to take a look now at health, wealth, love, and destiny, starting off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Let's take a look at the oracle card here for health. It says the spaces between the words, reading between the lines, right? That's what that means. So I think it's really important for you to be inquisitive, be curious, constructively critical, and just honest with yourself and others. If someone says something but they do something else, you read between the lines and you just call it for what it is. And this is also about reading the fine print as well. Just looking at those details and not ignoring them. There's no time anymore to do that. This is also speaking to the liminal nature of the green man, which again is the Fool. So if we look at the traditional Fool card, we'll see that he's just about to take a big step. And when you're one step in one area and one step in another, straddling the old and the new, that's when it's really important to focus on what matters. And that's, again, why this card here was at the center, the Oak King, aka the Hanged Man. So it's saying slow down so you don't make a mistake, so you don't make a misstep. Slow down and listen to your heart, listen to what people are saying. And all of this is going to help you be happier and healthier, because we're looking at health, and make the most of this situation. So let's more specifically take a look at messages around health. Because Vesta came through representing the home, it's really important to take a look at your house and say, you know what, is everything the way that it needs to be? Do I feel safe? Is there something that needs to be fixed, preventative maintenance? And does this feel like a place where I can be my best and grow? So looking at the larger concept of home too, who makes you feel at home, more of that, and whoever doesn't, less of that. And those are sort of like the overarching messages with Vesta. Other things that I'm seeing here, you want to be very cognizant of your ankle and your foot and your Achilles tendon. All of these energies are really highly impacted by the Hanged Man. So new pair of shoes, a trip to the podiatrist, whatever you need to do to make sure that your foot is feeling good and being taken care of. Let's see. With the Harvest card, like again, this is judgment. And so for some of you, this could be a wake-up call. Something happened and it really helped you see like, wow, I can't do this anymore. I have to make a change for the better. And this card was basically encouraging you to be super accountable when you make that promise to yourself. Let's see what else is coming through. I mentioned earlier the importance of not going to extremes. We still see all the chalices behind her. Again, this can represent you taking that idea of, well, I deserve it, and going maybe one or two steps too far. So a little bit of fun, a little bit of play, a little bit of, just letting all things go. It's okay, just not all the time. That's what I'm picking up on with that. Oddly enough, the other thing that guides are coming through and talking about has nothing to do with the cards. It's just a download, is sodium intake. It's something that, and sodium and sugar for that matter, they are hidden in processed foods. And if you go out to eat, you don't always get to control those two ingredients. So be very careful. It was sodium that came through first, and then they're like sugar too. And again, this can be anything in excess. And I was being shown things beneath the surface, like the salt and the sugar intake. So be mindful of that. Okay, let's see if there's something else that we need to pay attention to. Just getting a little bit of activity in your life, and it can be in a very easy way, sort of like walking, swimming, gentle movement. Each of us have different things that our body can do. Some of us can maybe do chair-based exercises because, of lack of mobility, but something gentle, something to get the blood moving. That's the other thing here. Otherwise, the cards are actually pretty good. And it was just oddly enough, sodium intake. Be aware of that this month. All right, let's go ahead now and move to the next major category. We're going to look at wealth, which is your resources, life purpose, and career. And we have the crow coming through. I had a dream about crows the other night. Crows are interesting because I do connect them with karmic messages. And in the karmic area here, you had this harvest or bounty. So for some of you, it might be about looking at your investments and also looking at how hard you've worked and how far you've come and deciding like what the next move is. Maybe you've learned everything or done everything that you needed to do in one area, and now you're thinking, all right, let's embark upon something new. The crow is holding on to a crystal ball here, which is close to this wish fulfillment card that we just talked about earlier, which if there's something that you want to do, you have the ability to manifest it and bring it into fruition. Crows also are noisy. I love them. They're a great totem, but they are very loud. Now, when the card is reversed, someone could be trying to dampen your communication or close you down, and you want to do the opposite this month. You want to shine, you want to speak up. So in the areas of wealth and business and your own personal development, speak up. Let's now take a look at this in three major categories. We're going to look at those that are currently employed, job seekers, and then we'll look at students and retirees. If you currently have a traditional 9-to-5 job, we have the Oak King or the Hanged Man at the center saying there could be some delays at the beginning of the month. They actually could be to your benefit. Some of them could be pointing you towards meeting the right person. So there may be a person that could open a door for you. There could be a person that has the skills that you've been looking for. When you pause, when you look elsewhere, then suddenly that opens up. There could also be better opportunities that arise for you. So if you're feeling stuck or if nothing's happening, some other opportunity could knock. So embrace the delay. Ultimately, you're going to end up on top of things and probably better for taking that moment of rest or recalibration. The biggest challenge this month is getting people to see things from your perspective, the Two of Wands. I feel like you need another creative or empathic person, and they're coming through with Queen of Cups energy. Like in business, this could be an art director or a copywriter or just someone that really understands things, but some sort of a creative connection is what I'm picking up on here. The deep past to me is very heartening. So we have this harvest card, which represents you working hard and finally being able to capitalize on that. The traditional judgment card shows souls rising up from the dead, being called to this new opportunity, this second chance. We get that here with the green man. So sophomore is the word that comes to me. Second time around, you're wiser. The wise fool is what sophomore means, roughly. And so I mentioned before that this seemed like a very empowered fool card. Now I get it. This time around, it feels like you're going to understand what's important, what isn't. You're going to put your time and energy behind things that really, really matter. And you'll be able to be very, very successful if you put your mind to it. So I like that. Highly creative and sensitive this month with that Queen of Cups. That receptivity is really pointed mostly towards the partnership here. So you have the ability to bring in new people that could take your vision, that could take your project, that could also take you to a new level. Some of you are basically ready to move on, and that's okay too. This time around, whatever it is that you're moving to, it feels like you could land on your feet, okay? Boss energy coming through. It's in hope spheres and opportunities. Some of you may have a promotion that's on its way. Make sure that you're happy with the money, you're happy with the opportunity, but if all the stars align, then that looks really good. The only thing that I'm picking up on for some of you is this vitality or energy card, and it feels like you're being tapped out just a little bit. Make sure that you're not giving too much too often. And if you've seen something going on time and again, you can't force someone to change. And if things have been happening a certain way for a certain amount of time, the judgment card is reminding you to just sort of accept that and say, I think I need to find a place where people are open to grow, to change, etc. So don't try to change a person or an entire company all at once. It may not be worth your time and energy. There might be something better for some of you. But ultimately, with the Queen of Wands energy and hope spheres and opportunities, we see a chance to show your wisdom, a chance to step up, a potential promotion, lots and lots of partnership energy. And the only frustrating piece is things are happening slower than you'd like. Let them be slow, though. look around. There may be either something better coming or the delay is aligning you to the right person at the right time. It's just the way that the universe works, okay? Now let's move on from those that are currently employed to those that are seeking a job. So for some of you, I'm getting a resistance to moving because of the home card. So you may really like wherever it is that you currently live. And I do think there could be a new job opportunity that could require a move. So reevaluate that. Remember what I said with home. It can be multiple things, not just a zip code, or a postal code. Can you find a job? Potentially two. I mentioned that one of them just feels easier and better. One of them is a little bit more of a push. I think one also is really allowing you to be more creative. The other one is you're going to have to file in under a really bossy boss. So make sure that you get an understanding for job expectations, the culture, and the ability for you to sort of operate without someone hovering over you. It really depends on your work style. Where can you find this? Well, I think that one of the places that you can find this is through a close friend. A Queen of Cups would be someone that loves you, knows you. It's not like multiple people are coming through. It feels like it's a close friend or family member. I do see a nice connection there, but you can also just throw your hat in the ring for consideration. The Fool means anybody can basically get this, but it is a card of traveling. So I picked up on the sort of like interesting connection between Vesta and the Fool. Some of you just may not want to go that distance, or there's more of a commute or something associated with travel is making it more difficult for you to accept an opportunity. It's a good month though if you're job seeking overall. It's going to start off slower. First 2 weeks are slow. The last couple of weeks are picking up. Could even be the very last day of the month when everything comes to fruition. But I do like what I see overall. Because I get questions all the time about this, let's take a moment to look at those of you that want to walk more of that path of being an entrepreneur, self-made, your own business, etc. What I get is that just because you're the entrepreneur doesn't mean that you have to do everything. We have a partnership of at least 3 people here. So the page can be an intern, an assistant, an administrative sort of level, but we have 2 queens co-reigning. So this could be, this could be a great opportunity for you to start something with a friend or with a small group, and maybe you're the CEO, but there are other people working with you and for you, and this is going to make it much easier. So power in numbers, much like we were talking about with the bee in the totem much earlier, and that's one thing. The other thing that I'm picking up on here is you are worth it. Wrapping your head around I guess the price point for products and services. So don't sell yourself short. That's what I'm picking up here. Again, a little bit of a delay, everybody this month at the beginning, but it eventually picks up towards the end of the month. Now looking at students. Students, you're fine. Overall, everything looks really, really good, especially with all of the power cards here. I feel like you're nicely aligned. I like the people that are teaching you. I think the one thing for some of you is this feeling that it's just going super slow. You're like, when am I going to get to the finish line? My encouragement would be to embrace that energy of the Oak King or the Hanged Man a little bit, because once you're out of school, life, you're never going to get that chance again to be to indulge yourself as much when it comes to personal development and education and experiences. Traveling and trying new things. Now is the time to really lean into all of that. So don't rinse and repeat. Absolutely shake things up. If you want to travel abroad, do that. I've been saying that a lot lately, but I keep getting travel cards as I'm looking at education, so that could be a chance to sort of like expand your horizons. Double majors. Some of you are going to do a double major. You might also be transferring from one school to another. Whatever you're doing, it feels like it's in the right direction. It's just there may be this perception of a delay. The delay isn't necessary. You're going to be okay. You might be extending your program by a couple years, but I like what you're doing. It's unconventional on some levels, but it looks like it's good. Retirees. For many of you, there is this wake-up call. It could have been because of someone that you loved, maybe had a difficult health experience, or maybe you lost someone, or maybe you almost kind of had an experience where your health was put into danger, but now you're living smarter, you're living healthier, and you're thinking, all right, dodge that. Let's not do that again. And it helps you not sweat the small stuff, and it helps you focus on doing what matters most. And now is the time, absolutely, to make a little bit more room in your schedule. Some of you want to learn, for learning, for arts and crafts and creativity, for gentle travel, and I mean like you don't always have to hop into a plane or a train or a car. This could be simply seeing your own city by foot, or maybe even just getting in a bus and going somewhere for the day. It does not have to be a difficult sort of or intense travel experience for you. I think most importantly here is to enjoy. What is bringing you a sense of joy in this moment in time? Now is the time to put a little bit more energy there. This could be a grandchild, a child, or just getting more involved with mentoring youth. All of these things seem really heartening and a good use of your time and energy. Finally, I'm going to go back to the Rider-Waite-Smith card here, but at the center you have the Two of Wands, and to quote Journey, don't stop believing, and don't stop dreaming. This is a time to really allow yourself to go out there and go after something that you've always wanted to do. What is your dream? What is your goal? Now is a time to really explore it, and we want to stay blue sky or limitless when it comes to the possibilities. Let's move on to love and relationships. We have a beautiful card here. It says Desert and Vision Quest. The desert piece is really interesting because what this represents is that many of you may have gone through a period in your life where there hasn't been a lot going on, particularly those that are either single and looking or happily single. But if you want something, it can come through. We saw a lot of partnership opportunities that wanted to kind of knock on the door. In existing relationships, it's a little more nuanced, and it's basically making sure that the two of you still align, and there's a choice to either stay or kind of like go different ways. The desert is not a forever thing. Even a desert changes, right? There are seasons, there are monsoons in many deserts where there's a lot of action, a lot like a super bloom will happen. So you could just be on that precipice of a super bloom after a long period where nothing happens. Super bloom is just a word where like there's a big monsoon or rainstorm, and then all of the cacti and succulents start to blossom, and there's wildflowers and there's life, and it's basically reinvigoration. And that is what this card is representing, the ability to resuscitate and to bring something new into the picture, even if it isn't here right now. All right, let's take a look now into three major areas: those in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, the good news here is that I do see strong partnership here in the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. I see love and happiness here in the Nine of Cups, but it feels like things have either gotten into a predictable rut, or one partner's just doing a little bit more, investing a little bit more. The other person could just be more in the receptive mode. And so the big challenge is communication, meeting in the middle, and ultimately the answer to kind of shake things up is in the form of the Fool. So trying a new restaurant, changing up whatever your routines are a little bit and saying, let's do this instead. Possibly even bringing some sort of a gathering together with friends and family, something new, something different. There's one other very sort of niche piece that's coming through, and for some of you, there could just simply be this desire to go in a new direction, and it's really a matter of if that partner's on the same page. So this all has to do with being able to be comfortable with the energy of change, and also being able to see your partner where they're at right now and saying, I love you, both the person that I married and the person that you've become. But if one of you's gone down a path and the other one hasn't followed, a bigger conversation has to be had. And that's the missing piece here, is communication. We don't have enough swords. We have no swords cards. So it's communicating wishes, desires, and even something that might be irritating you. There is potential for improvement, but communication needs to be improved a bit. If you're looking for love this month, you have options. You have many options, actually. Like I said, just because you haven't seen it or you're not seeing it right now doesn't mean that in the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months that we're not going to see some opportunities showing up at your front door. You can't fake it. This is the one thing here. If you don't feel the connection, that something better is coming along. So there needs to be passion, and there needs to be also sort of common interests. And with having at least 3 options here. I think the biggest question from the universe is, what is it that you're looking for? What I'm picking up on here, again, someone from the past, maybe that the timing was wrong, but it's right now. So go for it if you feel that. I feel that there's someone that's coming through in the present where it's not quite there. And then I feel like there's a very good connection if either of those two don't kind of do it for you. So discernment is really, really key right now. You do not have to take the first opportunity that's presented to you. Really hold out for the right connection, okay? And generally speaking, there might be some changes that you're easing into, something starting, something stopping. Let the dust settle there first. And make sure that you're looking in all areas of your life for where this person might be coming in, because there might be someone right there. Literally, sorry, I'll go back here. The Hanged Man is looking at this Queen of Cups, a water sign. Could be right around you, and they're trying to give you signs and signals, but you may not be picking up on them, or they may be communicating in a way that's not clear. So if you're open, love may be a lot closer than you think. For those of you that are happily single, good for you. A great time for travel, business, personal development, creativity, kind of really bubbling up here. And it feels like to me, you're super happy. And I would say do with that joy whatever you'd like to. A lot of this could just be in creating some new friendships, but business is coming through really loud and clear. So this is a great time for personal development, career development, and meeting new people, okay? Now let's take a look at your destiny card. And this is in perfect alignment with the center card. It says impasse, reflect, and redirect your energy. So I feel like we're just talking about the Hanged Man one more time. With any delays that come through, rather than allowing them to agitate, allow them to inspire, educate, and help you see things that you wouldn't otherwise see. And in doing so, you won't see it as an impasse, but rather as a chance to maybe find a better path, a better direction, okay? That's usually what a delay is from the universe. It's a form of protection, and it helps us look in places we wouldn't otherwise look. Let's now delve into the sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what's in store for you, Aquarius. Move the home card over here. We'll shuffle everything and see what the universe has to say. Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising, and Aquarius moon. Okay, it's good stuff. I love that we got swords here coming through for Aquarius sun. So now you got 3 aces. That's amazing. We're just short of cups right now. But anyway, the Ace of Swords. It's your chance to basically breathe life into something. It could come from writing it, sketching it, or speaking it, somehow communicating this to someone else. I love that in this deck we can see the dandelion seeds, and they're actually taking flight. And let me see how many are on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, you have a chance for multiple things. We talked about this earlier. Maybe 3 to 5 different things that are kind of percolating at once. But one overall that you should really be putting your time and energy into. I also think it's interesting that there's a little mouse on this card. Mice to me are slightly sneaky as a totem. And whenever I see them, it's always about going to your finances. So one thing I think is really important right now is to ask questions about money, look at contracts, and make sure that you're clear. And again, if you need to advocate for your worth, do it. Sorry, went out of focus. But yeah, if you need to advocate for why you're worth something, absolutely, now's the time to do it. Ace of Swords is a possibilities card, and it basically is saying, what are you willing to do? And not only that, but what are you doing right now to bring your goal to the next level? Start each day with a list of 3 things. Don't overdo it. 3 things that you can do that are going to help you feel better, move your goal a little bit further, and really kind of align you to that feeling of, you know, I'm being as productive as I can. So keep the list short, but make sure you're checking all of them off, okay? Now let's move on to rising sign. Partnership, folks. We had the Queen coming through in possibilities. So now we see a wonderful partnership here. It could be in business. It could be in love. We also see someone that does get what it is that you're trying to put out to the world. So, you know, there were a few cards here where I was saying, like the 2 of Wands with the pause underneath it, the Hanged Man. So if there's someone out there that just doesn't get it, wait. I really do feel like this is particularly for those of you that are trying to push forward something professional, something important in your life. Find that perfect partner. It's worth the wait. It's worth the time. King of Wands is also you. This is the, like again, penultimate boss card, second only to the Emperor. And so you have the ability to make something happen, to get people excited about what's going on here, because we have the fire right behind the King of Wands. And I also see like a comfort in his power. He's not trying to, he doesn't have to try to convince people. He's just happy with where he's at. So you've worked hard for this moment in time. Drink it in, breathe it in, enjoy it. And don't be afraid to be the boss. Don't be afraid to speak up. It's a great thinking card. So if you are stuck in any aspect of your life, take the break that was kind of required with the Hanged Man and allow yourself to think, well, what if we try that? It may sound outlandish, but what if it works? What if it does work indeed? Moving on to Moon sign. Friendship, love, opportunity. It starts off slowly, and it could be something where you're just, it feels like you need to feel this out a little bit. The Three of Cups is not known for commitment. It really is about, like if you're at a buffet, you're going to try a few different things before you land on the one that's the right fit. So you could be looking at different places to live. You could be looking at different friends that you want to hang out with. You could be dating a few people. I see a lot of energies and opportunities coming in and out of your life. And it's a chance for you to get clear on what it is that you want. This is a chance to sort of like to sample, to enjoy, but also to mix and mingle. So there could be new love, there could be new friendship. And the cups are upright here, the Three of Cups, and everybody's looking out at the same direction. So it doesn't feel like it's closed off. It actually feels like the arms are open wide here. So I really think that even if you normally consider yourself a hermit, it's important to get out there a little bit more than you used to and allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be heard, and see what that brings into your life in this moment in time, okay? Let's now take a look at one last card. This can be any question that you have that I've yet to have answered. And let's go ahead and turn the camera down and shuffle the cards and see what's coming through. So the final card answering your final question is the Wheel of Fortune, but it is reversed. So there's a change in the wind. For many of you, this can be a change for the better. But for some of you, this is the answer to why the Hanged Man was there. In order to change, think of like a big ship. I like to use this analogy. Think of like a cruise ship. If that ship has to move and turn around, it's going to take a lot of cranking of that wheel, and it's going to take a little bit of time for it to happen. So if you've just made a new path in your life with health, with career, with love, you're going to need some time to wrap your head around it. It is a change for the better, but initially it may feel discombobulating, okay? This is also a reminder that if you just went through something really challenging, let's say you lost some money, you lost some time, your health has been not where you want it to be, you can crank the wheel in the right direction. The wheel is never stuck, it always keeps turning. So there's good times, there's bad times, there's times in the middle. So try not to let the punctuated times, good and bad, get into your head too much. Most of the time we spend in the middle. You're going to get into cooler, calmer weather before you realize it. And I think it's important to just allow for the change to happen in its own time. Don't rush it, and don't worry too much, okay? Ask for more. If you are negotiating for a job, ask for more. As a yes or no, that would be what I would say here is it's yes, but don't accept less than you're worth. And that, my friends, is everything. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for allowing me to read for you. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. If you hit the like button, it helps people discover this video. It also lets me know that you enjoyed it. It's free and it's super impactful. And so I just want to say thanks. If you've never subscribed, it's 100% free. You don't have to pay to subscribe. It just gives you notifications whenever I post new videos, and we're really close to a milestone. So if you could help me with that, I would be ever so grateful. If you'd like to get updates whenever I post a video, you can follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. A reminder that I don't give private readings, nor will I ever use comments or direct messages to solicit business. So if you see any of that, block, report, and stay safe. You can always go to my website for official links. You can also look at the main channel page here on YouTube for more information. There are also ways here on YouTube if you want to show some love and support to do so. Memberships are a great way. I sometimes will do member first videos or member only chats, and you'll get a first chance at participating in those. You can also show love through super stickers, super chats, super thanks, all of those right there embedded in the YouTube experience and interface. And I just want to say thank you, because this is helping me rebuild my studio. As many of you know, I had to start from scratch. So thank you so much in advance. Thank you again for being the best part of what I do on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. I'm wishing you all the best. I'll see you soon.